We could use a new. Here we go. We could use a new intro, dude.
We like this voice. Wait,
like
wait,
the DJs you see on TikTok, bro.
wait.
Ooh, okay, all right. Welcome back to Mind Over Matter. I get we don't even need it. I'm not even gonna put an intro in this one, dude. We'll just get right into it. So we got episode 63 here. Got Rob. Met him through I think it's IO. Yeah, another at least Twitter minimum, but a lot of Twitter folks we're having on, dude. My life completely changed when I hopped on Twitter, dude. I always just threw it off, and then Elon bought it, and I'm like, all right, something's up with this. So I got on and everything. I met so many cool people. But how you doing today, man, Rob? How you doing?
Doing well, boys. Happy Friday. I'm pumped
Yeah.
to be on here, pumped to hang out with you guys. Pleasure meeting you earlier before we started recording. You guys seems like some cool dudes, and that's the beauty of Twitter. I always had it. I had it probably Twitter when it first came out in 2000. I graduated high school 2012. About to be 30. I actually love it. Wait, baby face, baby. But no, I got it and I remember I thought I was so creative. I made my name my last name is Orzetti. I made R tweet Zetti. I had that tweet in there. Tweeting was a big thing. So it was probably 2010. And I mean, if you could find my old Twitter, see ya.
We probably don't want to find that. Actually.
In the back of math class, craving top. No, but I had it obviously for personal use and stuff like that. And then as soon as started maturing a bit, I Twitter did die down for a little bit. And when COVID happened in 2020, that's when I found essentially the side of Twitter where you've kind of found me from, Trevor. I was a lurker. I just lurked. I was like, these guys are pretty cool, have some good points, some incredible threads, some stuff that you never see in a classroom. I was super interested. And then that's when I decided to make my account Wall Street Yoga. I wanted to have a niche kind of what's the word I'm looking for?
Target audience.
Yeah, target audience.
You wanted someone to talk to.
And so because I'm in finance and I love yoga, I love wellness, man. I think it's so important, focusing on your mental. I mean, you're in your body, 24/7, every day of the year, in your mind. You gotta take care of that. And especially in this fast-paced, modern world we're living in, and you lose track of that. I lost track of that. And but I started that account to cater to people, with who I could help, because me throwing out there is kind of like personal journal. It helps me, helps other people. It's a win-win for everyone. So I hopped on Twitter, I loved it. I actually I took a little digital detox 3 months ago, or 4 months. I took a 4-month detox just because it had nothing to do with the other people. And I try not to do comparison, because I do strongly believe that's the thief of joy that they always say. It's cliche, but I just took it off because my algorithm was kind of catering towards geopolitics and stuff like that, and
that's an L right there, bro.
It was a huge L. I stopped being the irrational optimist that I am, and I just I was becoming so pessimist, man. I was just thinking the worst, and all I had to do was just shut off the internet and go touch grass, and everything in everything in moderation, right? It doesn't matter what you do. So it's just it's a great tool. It's a great platform when used correctly. And I struggle with moderation sometimes with certain things, so but back and I'm happy. So thank you, boys.
Yeah, no, thanks, Kev. How we doing, man?
I'm phenomenal, man. I'm excited to have someone as famous as Morgan Wallen on the show.
Wow.
That's a joke. You look like Morgan Wallen, bro. If y'all can't see, he looks
you
like
want
Morgan
me to speak like him?
Yeah.
Can you?
No. Only if you shave off the sides right now.
Give us an impression though, real quick, bro. Let me hear this.
His infamous impression?
I'm all ears.
No.
I don't know what that means. Bro. Is that something bad? I don't know.
Yeah, that's why he started doing songs with Lil Durk, is why.
Yeah. Oh! He's part of 4L now.
Don't do that one.
He's got the chain and everything, dude. Good for him.
I forgot about that. Yeah, never mind, dude. Don't do that. I'm great though.
Anyway.
Oh, man.
Shout out to Morgan Wallen, bro. Oh, man. I totally forgot that all happened, bro.
Yeah, it got swept on the radar. It was around the same time as like the wide receiver Cooper Riley got in trouble for something similar like that. Wasn't a good moment in time.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
don't.
no, and that's why I'm a Chicago man, so I'm a fan of Lil Durk, but Lil Durk brought him back a lot
How
just because
how
he
how
did
old are
a couple
you?
songs. I'm 25.
Okay, so you caught the end of the Chief Keef wave or no?
No, dude, Chief Keef, dude, I used to have a guy that was like almost borderline Tourette's in social studies class in eighth grade, seventh grade, and he would just fucking like tweak out and say "O block," like he'd be in the "O block." Like I'm
Oh
not fucking
block,
kidding. Like
bro.
he'd be in the back. We had this old ass dude. Dude was he turned 69. The teacher, he
Nice.
was so old. It was almost like he was fucking 80 years old. This old white dude just doing his job teaching social studies, and this I think the guy actually ended up going to jail for aggravated assault or something, armed robbery. But he would be in the back of the class at like 9 a.m. fucking oh block, like bang bang,
It's like
fucking in the back of the class.
me and us Saturday night. Same
Yeah,
thing.
dude.
Same
Yeah, so
energy.
I caught the Chief Keef wave. I'm glad I did.
Dude, he was so young when he did all that too. Like he's crazy.
Dude,
He's not
and
old at all.
he was like one of the first people. Oh, this is gonna be controversial as shit. He is
Uh-oh.
one of the
Pop
first
off,
people
bro.
to bring autism to light. People were like, this dude's fucking autistic and he's doing it. I heard that shit all the time. Now it's a money Twitter thing. Everybody just says we're all autistic. Chief Keef was one of the first people where people were like, look at this guy. He's autistic. He could do it. Or people would shit on him for a little bit, but I'm telling you, dude, people don't
Yeah,
sleep on Chief Keef autism.
he's still like sometimes like I'll be like going through some albums like featured by Chief Keef, like Lil Uzi's like uh not like Internal Take Two had like a feature with him. Like he gets put on some like decent projects sometimes, and like I remember everyone. I was probably you were in middle school. I was probably I was in high school. I just remember like I tried to dress like him. I tried to dress like him. Like it
Chief
was
Keef?
yeah, like
Look
I
at that.
remember like he loved Gucci. Like I remember he loved his Gucci belts, and I what do you think I did? I got a Gucci belt. Like that's how he has the power of an influence, though. Seriously, it doesn't matter if you're white, black, Chinese. Like I see a Gucci belt on a guy who I like, and I think
Why like Chief Keef?
if I think he's cool, I'm gonna do it.
Dude, that's how I started my shoe shopping. It would be like I'd be watching. I love music videos, so I'll be watching a music video of whoever, and it was Kodak Black Versatile 3. Great
Okay,
song. If
great
no,
song.
it's an 8-minute fucking song. But I saw the shoes I was wearing while watching it. And I'm like, all right, dude, I need more fucking shoes. This is awesome. Like, that's just the power of an influencer. I love shoes too. So.
Dude, I don't know if you know though. You were just down in where in Florida were you? Tampa? Where you live in Tampa, right?
I live in Tampa. I was out in the it's like Ocala area near
Dude, so
Orlando, I guess.
I got into like into the Jacksonville rap scene, and I started they're called like the Demons of Duval. Like, are you familiar with like Fulio at all?
Fulio, yeah, dude.
Fulio?
Fulio's with that's he's on Pooh Shiesty squad.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
runs around with all he's not for the faint of heart. But you would never guess if you look at me. Like this kid's listening to Fulio in his ears. But no, same thing happened to me. He was wearing this like Valentino like sweatsuit. It was like white with the rainbow the Valentino print. Like I got it. And I wore it to like Montauk like for a summer. Like the whitest place you could do. I thought I was the man. I'll have to show you a picture after.
I'm looking at
Yeah.
that Thanos glove behind you. I'm like, this doesn't seem like a guy that would listen to a guy called Fulio.
Yeah, I'm a jack of all trades, man. Like like same with like music. Like my personality. Like, I'm not caged to one thing. Like I've always been that way. Like I have like I said like the whole Wall Street yoga thing. Like finance, like work job, and then like I love meditation. I love yoga. I love wellness. Like you have to find I'm a strong believer in balance and like I, like it's easy to lose the balance, especially when Yeah, I was gonna come clean. I lost on my balance. Like in like the summer, I've always, partied and drank and stuff like that, and I would always balance it off. Like the next day, I'd pop up, run a 5K, right? Or like there'd be times like I would take a pill. I'd go for a run. Like it was, I could do both. That was not a healthy balance, but I thought I could balance it. And I got to the point in my life where like I couldn't balance my like party style and like my actual day-to-day life, and it's coming completely unmanageable. And like I had to get help, man. Like I've tried going sober. Shit, I probably started drinking. I was a late bloomer. Like I started really drinking when I was in. I had a couple here and there in high school, but like I really prioritized like my athletics and stuff like that. And when I was in college, playing a sport, you drink here and there, but picked up around college, and like I had a solid like 10, 12 year run with it. And then it caught up to me. Like I always had a little bit of an issue with like my moderation and being able to control it. And then I moved cities. I left New York City, and all my friends are there. My whole social circle's there. Like every girl I've ever been with is in the city. Like all the girls are my age, and all my friends. Like dude, I'm down in this town. I know no one, and like we're creatures of, we're not meant to be zoo animals. Like we're humans. Like it's all about social interaction. Like what we're doing now. Like I lost that aspect, and I would just try to escape with and like numb everything I was feeling with drinking, and it caught up to me, and I surrendered because my life was coming unmanageable, and I hopped into a month away. I went away for a little bit, and it was on my own. I didn't hit like a super rock bottom. I didn't have a DUI. I didn't get arrested. It was just like my life was falling apart. I was severely depressed. Like I thought that stuff would make me feel better. It does for a little bit, and then like it just
That's
doesn't.
how it gets you. You feel
It just
great for
doesn't. No,
about 4 hours.
it tricks you, man. And then I got help, and it was it's the best thing I've done for me. Everyone is on their own path, right? But for me, I needed that. Like I'm open about it, man. Like I've always been open because I lied a lot, man. I held a lot of stuff. I held a lot of stuff. Like I lied to
Yeah.
myself, like, and it eats at you, man. So like like balance. Like I try to find it. I'm not perfect by any means, but I'm working on it. Progress, not perfection. But yeah,
Dude,
we're good here today. We're good here
yeah,
today.
hey,
And
yeah,
thanks for letting me vent a little bit. I still get emotional. It's like still tough to talk about, man, because like the struggle with like mental health is like it's a sign of like weakness, right? Like it's the stigma behind it. You hear it all the time, and I was fucking my ego, man. My ego's crazy. Like I was like, if I check myself away, like I can't do it by myself. I knew I couldn't do it by myself. I tried. I kept trying. I was procrastinating. Like I looked at my 23 New Year's resolutions. Like it came up on my an old journal, and I was laughing, man, because they lasted maybe a week. It was like no more hard alcohol, like drinking in moderation. Don't put this in my body, like, and like I've tried making those rules myself. I had to like surrender to it. I was like, oh shit, like I have a problem. And
yeah.
like
No, it's tough,
it
dude.
sucked, but it's like
Yeah,
it sucked for the first like 3 days. I was like, people are gonna think I'm a loser, like whatever. But like in the end, like it's my life. Like if I feel better, like I'm gonna be a better friend. Like I can
yeah.
show up to this podcast better. I can have a better conversation with you guys. Like I can be a better son, a better father, like a better partner to whoever. Like just a better
Just
person.
everything is better, and that's yeah. No,
Yeah.
It seems like the recent theme in my life has been balance. I've been trying to find balance for like a week. That seems like the area that my brain has been exercising the most, and it's um it's tough when you have to finally just say, look, I can't do this. Look, and I'll come out right now. Weed, I'm struggling with weed quite a bit right now. I'm in a little limbo stage. I'm planning to do copywriting a little more. I'm going to get into that until I'm in school next year. Um, but that little balance, it's hard to finally just say, look, dude, I can't. If I try and try, like you said, I try by myself. I'm alone. I'm trying. I could do this. I think I could do this. I can't do it by myself. And finally, after however many times I've tried to do it by myself, I have to say it beats me every time. I have to quit. Like I have to stop doing this.
Yeah,
It's
but
so shitty because like you don't tell your friends because you're worried they're gonna judge you. But like then you also need your friends to get through all
need
this shit.
them. I agree.
Yeah.
You need a good support system, and like I have that, and like you know, like with yeah, man, like I said, like if it, for me, I started cutting people off. I was like, and
Well,
I
yeah, and that's the other thing. No one's gonna save you. I was just watching this too. No one has a success story where they're like, this one guy saved my life and just gave me money, and now I'm a millionaire. No, their success story is how they dug deeper into themselves. It's always, I did this, I did this, I did this. It's never someone comes save you because no one's going to. So when you're
yeah,
about to text that friend, and I'm like, oh, I can't go out because I can't go drinking again with them. Like I just can't do that again for the fourth weekend in a row. They're not coming to save you anyways, dude. They're going drinking. Like,
yeah, and
so
No,
like
yeah,
bro.
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, like
with like
saying no is a superpower. It's fucking hard, but it's a superpower.
it's hard as shit.
yeah,
It's
because
so
with
hard.
drugs especially, bro, like everything is so fake, bro. Like I don't want to say all drugs, but definitely past weed. Once you get into like coke and everything past there, everything is so fake. Like the conversations are fake, the people are fake. They're only hitting you up when they need you. You're also only hitting people up when you need them. And it's just like everything we put up with it because it feels good in the moment, but we know it's all just nonsense. And then we get to a point where we're like, we just cannot do it anymore.
Yeah.
It-
You have to hit
Yeah,
that point. It's surprising it didn't take like anything incredibly bad for you. Cause like for me, I was alcoholic for a bit after getting divorced and moving out of the army. And my bottom, I had a gun in my hands to my head, and I was like, okay, all right, I like this is the bottom. I need to change. You didn't have anything. You just saw a trend going
it
downwards.
was
Was it just
it was like I was just showing. I missed work a couple times. Like I got to the
Uh-oh,
point where
uh-oh.
I was playing, but like and it was affecting like my life. Like I was cold. I was irrational. Like I'm not. I'm a very happy kid. Like naturally, I'm a very smiley kid. I talk a lot. Like I'm just like I laugh a lot. Like but I was just showing up always like super heavy and like I was pissed off at everyone and I was always like wondering like you know when can I just get by myself and get as fucked up as I can. And that's terrible. But like my rock bottom was like you know, people, I was losing relationships, like people that I love. Like my parents were really worried about me, and like I didn't care. Like when you're in the thick of things, for me, like I didn't care who I hurt. I didn't care. I, I was never consciously suicidal, and but the scary part is I was at the point where like when I'm in the thick of things and after the you know I got 3 drinks in me and I go do X and then I do X to go to bed. Like when I'm mixing all of these things, I don't care if I don't wake up in the morning. I would like to, but I'm not thinking about that. And I never once, it's so selfish, man. I was doing some self-inventory about it. Like it hurts, but like I never once thought about like what it would mean for like my parents having to bury their son, right? That I never thought of that. And that's selfish behavior. Like and that's I I was lucky enough to, you know, and I made promises. Like the amount of times that you know, there's one time I wasn't waking up, like I didn't OD or anything like that, but like I didn't charge I have a bad habit of like setting an alarm and then just like throwing my phone and continuing what I'm doing. And then like I won't wake up because like I'll just be like, I'll pass out at like, I was, wouldn't wake up. So like, I'm not answering. They have no idea where I am. And that happened a bunch of times, like sleepless nights for my parents. Um, and just, you know, just kind of felt like a piece of shit, honestly. Cause like, that's not, you know, I'm on this earth one time. That's not really what I'm meant to be like, dude. Like, drinking's fun if you could do it. I couldn't do it. Like I got
Mhm.
to a point like I genuinely like I had no off ramp. I had if I put it to me like I don't know which way I'm gonna go. Like I've had certain
Yep.
nights where I could have a 6 pack of beer, I could have 2 or 3, maybe even all 6, go to bed. There's other ones where after that third beer, and this is the messed up part because like I'm synthetically I was chasing like a high because I drank when I had bad days, I drank when I had good days, and some of the weirdest, most fucked up nights that I've had were nights that I had great day at work. I come home, I rip a 5K run, or I have a sick like sauna session, or like I'm feeling good, and that ultimately like wears down, and I want to, or like it stays there, and I want to keep it. How do I keep it? Drugs and alcohol. I'm not able to sit with
Mm.
myself. I wasn't happy with myself. I say it's like it's hard to believe because I'm just so goddamn handsome. I'm kidding. Like
I was gonna say.
I hated looking at mirrors. I didn't look at mirrors for 3 years of my life. I was dating
Wow.
I was dating this girl when we were living in New York City, and her she was living in like a nice apartment in Chelsea, and there was a doorman building, and there was always like a mirror by the elevators. I never looked by it, and I was going to see my girlfriend, who I love. I'm going to do good stuff. I couldn't. People love. People. I'm well liked. I'm still well liked. People like me.
Yeah.
I hate myself, right? And I sat with that for a while, and that was hard. And like I would put on like a facade for people that I was okay, right? Because I wanted to
Uh-oh.
seem okay,
There you go. There you go.
and that's where it gets sticky, right? So it's
Yep. I did the
because my
same
head is,
thing, dude.
dang, it's tough, man.
I did the same exact
Yeah.
thing. And it was when I finally took the facade off, they were like, "What's wrong with him?" Well, what's wrong with me is I realized I'm not that guy anymore, and I've been faking it the whole time. It's like hard for
It's
them to
weird
comprehend too.
how obvious it seems, and like when you look back at it, like mine was cough syrup, like DXM, not like lean, but triple C's, right? Like when I was in Afghanistan when COVID happened, I was pounding 16 pills every single day, bro. And I go to the chow hall to wash my hands, and I look in the mirror, and I look like a freaking crackhead, bro. Like my eyes are all bloodshot, and my pupils are the size of Canada, and like I'm all skinny because I'm not eating, bro. I look fucking a mess. But I just put this face on, like, yo, no, I'm good. Like this just no problem. But then like it's kind of weird to think about now is how did no one else realize like I was actually not good and it was just a bunch of horseshit the
Yeah,
whole time.
that's what I was gonna say too. Is I made a video a long time ago, months ago, on TikTok, saying that the suicidal behavior of just not caring, like the idea of suicide is the people think is someone's got a gun to their head or they've attempted it or something like that. But it's much more than that. I could go and drink and just drive for 10 hours. That's suicidal. Like you are committing suicidal acts. The shit you're doing is careless. And it's you I'm surprised you didn't have anybody. And I had a couple people, but it's like, dude, why don't you care? And it was like that's the type of shit that woke me up. They'd be like, why don't you care? And I would have to finally answer that question to somebody else who cares about me. It's like, well, I don't care because I mean, this happened, this happened, this happened. And they're like, yeah, dude, but I mean, you're not the first person to do it. There's a million billion
Yeah,
people on this
no,
world. You're not the first person to go through this shit.
dude, when I was cracked out on cough syrup, I'm like, I could hit a fucking driving our little John Deere tractor thing. Like I could hit a ditch and die. Like I just did not give a shit. Like there was times where I had an infection in my sinus system. Like, bro, this could go into my brain and fucking kill me right now. And I just didn't give a shit. I'm like, this if this kills me, it kills me, so be it. It's like now that I'm thinking about it, it's like I was unconsciously suicidal in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's kind of it's kind of the same thing that I had. It's sad, man. It's powerful, but it's sad. And it all starts up here. Yeah, it's really
Mm-hmm.
what it is. It's like it doesn't matter like what it may be. Like I always say, like you know the the past is regret, the fear of the future is anxiety. It's just like people have trauma, and you have to deal with it, and like there's ways to deal with it. It doesn't like I, I'm again not perfect at all. I'm starting to realize that drugs and alcohol isn't the best way to do that. I have to do the work. I have to go down. Where am I feeling these things? Why do I feel a certain way? Like uh everyone like I'm very skittish. I've always been skittish if like someone comes up behind me and like they don't mean
Hate it.
like they're not trying to be like scare me or anything like that. But like I'm very skittish. Like and where does that come from? I'm not saying that's gonna make me stay up till 7 in the morning because I'm skittish, but like there's like little things that like you have to dig deep and it sucks. You'd be like, all right, where does this come from? Like why do I cheat? Right? Why do I cheat on a
Mm-hmm.
girl? Like why do I why am I so hard on myself, right? Was it because my upbringing? Because my father was lived vicariously through me, and he always had these expectations. Why? And a lot of it is like you come down to it, and it's you can change it, right? Like it takes time, but your habits can be changed. And the thing is, like, I thought a lot of the things I was doing was working, right? Like I didn't lose my job. Yeah, like
That's so dangerous. I'm sorry.
and
That's the
that's
most dangerous
dangerous,
thing,
man. Like,
bro. When you think
like
you're
I'm
good.
like, I'm doing good, man.
Oh man.
I'm rolling into the office. It's like 6:30 a.m. I haven't slept. My pupils are out to here. My jaw's locking up. I'm like,
I'm
I'm
sweating up a
on
storm. Good to go.
I'm on enough amphetamines to kill a horse, and I'm just like, I'm doing great. I'm here. I'm here, guys.
Made it to
Like
work.
I'm
Oh,
here. I'm like, it's it's like I was laughing the other day. Like it's January 19th. It's
Yeah.
January
19.
19th. Dude, my fucking I got my Christmas tree down this year. I made an emphasis. I like January 4th, dude. Like right away. My Christmas tree last year was up until like mid-April, bro. Like I like but I'm doing good, man. Like that's what it is. Like you like, play tricks on yourself. You try these compromises and just like lie again. That's why you lie to yourself. It's tough.
It's hard being a good liar too.
Oh yeah, I
But
was the
like,
best. I was the
but
No,
best.
like,
because yeah, like deep
yeah, go
down,
ahead.
though, like deep
Yeah.
down, when you lie to yourself, that's why you avoid the mirror. Because
Yeah.
I'll lie to myself, and I'm like, dude, I know I'm fucking lying. Well, who am I kidding,
Yeah.
dude? Stop smoking tomorrow. I'm not fucking doing
Yeah.
it. Come on,
No,
I'm taking a hit.
it's weird too, like the stigma behind drugs. Like those are only vices, but I can think of a few other vices that no one shakes a stick at. Like for us, the vice was drugs, bro. Let me get high and get fucked up, and then I'm on about my way, right? For other people, it's food. For other people, like bro, I used to be real into marathon running. Right, so many people run marathons just in the same way we use drugs. It's just a vice, just to escape your own head for a little bit. But it's like there's no stigma. Like no one's looking at a guy who runs marathons like, bro, that guy has a problem. It's the
Ah,
same thing, but the
because
way
it's
we
good
think.
for you.
Yes, because
Yeah.
because it's good for you. But like you're not looking at a fat person and thinking like, I mean, we might, but the average person is not thinking at someone
I
that's
agree.
a little fat and thinking like, oh, they're gonna,
They're probably
they're
suicidal.
they're killing themselves. They just don't care at all. But tell a guy that you were ripping lines before this, and it's like, oh, that is the end of the world. God forbid. It's
Huh.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah,
Trev?
no,
Yeah. No, I
it's
never thought about that, dude, to be
there's
honest.
no fat on that take, man. Like you're absolutely right, and like I'll tie it back to how we started the conversation. It's balance, it's moderation, right? Like you can definitely run and work out, but if you keep overdoing it, you're gonna shred up your knees. You might lose out on your social life 'cause that's all you focus on. You're not going out at night because like you have to train, and you get super psychotic in like the way you eat, and you don't want to. You start like microanalyzing all your calories, and like it gets like a little weird. Like you still have to live life. Like life is
Mhm.
fun. Like life is a good time when like it gets when you get out of the rut. Like there's not like people like people are in like some really horrible situations. But like for me, when I was like saying like, oh, like the life fucking sucks and stuff like that, I never zoomed out. Like I never like I would always say I'm grateful for so many things, but like I just threw that word around, dude. I threw that word around, and I get embarrassed by that, man. Because like when my head hit the pillow, like luckily, I'm fortunate, I'm not in debt. I got a roof over my head. I got a beautiful apartment, nice car, good job, man. Like I had a lot of great traits about myself. I thought I was a piece of shit, and I thought I had
Yeah.
nothing. I have a lot. I have a ton. Like, but I thought like I was like, oh, like the world's out to get me. Like I have such bad luck. It's like all the issues that were in my life and like what I was so upset about, like someone I hurt or this isn't going that way. Why did this happen to me? Like, oh man, like I slipped and it was just bad luck. Like all of it's like I did all of it. And that's kind of like that's like the beautiful part about it is like when I fix myself and I do self inventory, like look, every day is not going to be rainbows, but more often than not, they're going to be great days because like the things that I was doing it myself, getting caught in a lie. Now I'm like anxious about it. Like, oh, why did I say that? Like, I forgot the details to it. I'm putting
Yo,
extra. I'm putting excess stress on my body. Like, why do I need that? And then, like, you're constantly thinking about that, right? You're constantly thinking about that light. It starts eating at you. It starts eating at your soul. You know, you can't. It's hard to live like a meaningful life when you're stuck in that cloud of anxiety, that constant state of fear. And for me personally speaking, that's why it's all those things I did, right? I look in the mirror,
Yeah,
I did it. So it's like
yeah,
it gives me a sense of like hope, right? Because like I know if like I could fix some things and like be a better person and show up differently, like those unnecessary stressors that I had in my life will hopefully go away.
yeah. See, I got that sense of hope, and then I got beat back down because I started doing everything right. I'm like, okay, so like you said, take inventory. This is the shit that I'm doing to myself, and I fixed that, and then bad shit would still happen to me, and that's when I finally realized, okay, this isn't my fault. There's some things that I can't control where it's gonna suck, and I have to learn to live with that. So just anybody listening, you might run into that little problem where you're like, all right, no, I can fix everything, I can fix it. And then when it's not all fixed, when you fix yourself and you get a problem, you're like, what the hell? I thought I could fix it. You get upset because you think again, I'm still a piece of shit because this still happened to me.
Yeah,
It's like,
it's like a
dude,
weird
you're not a piece
balancing
of
act.
shit.
It's
Yeah.
like we hear all the time as men, especially on Twitter, like we got to take responsibility for everything. If anything happens, it's on us. But then, like, how do you balance that when something just genuinely is not your fault? Like with your
Yeah.
situation, Trev. How do you like deal with that?
Well,
Thinking that it's all
yeah,
your
sorry.
fault. No, go ahead, bro. I'm sorry.
That's the thing. You hit the nail on the head. It's like it's human nature. I think I speak for you guys. It's like you wanna we stress too much about the things that we can't control, right? That's a hard thing to do. Like if someone acts towards you a certain way or says something that's completely out of your control, or something happens that you physically don't have control over. Like me personally speaking, like I stress and would beat myself up over that. Like why isn't that person doing that? Or like why aren't they saying that? And I'm starting to use the analogy of a daily life of like focusing on like cleaning my side of the street. Like that'll come, right? Like, and I'll just like let it fall into place. But like if I'm doing things that are in my control, hopefully it'll line up. It doesn't always happen. But if I just like keep just beating myself up and getting like resentments and pissed off towards the things that are just completely out of my control, I can't say or do anything to change those actions that are happening. Like I mean, you'll drive yourself crazy.
Dude,
Yeah.
you want when I tell this to people who aren't veterans, bro, they look at me like I'm crazy. But there was one time in the army where Trevor wore these boots to a promotion ceremony,
Yeah,
right?
dude. It's
It's
so
a
funny
funny.
because this story comes out so many times because it's so funny. Like
It's
nobody
sad that
understands it.
it's
Yeah.
sad that it's so applicable. But he wore these boots that were too dirty to a promotion ceremony where we're supposed to look great as if we're not working. We're soldiers, whatever. But he wore these boots and the platoon sergeant like yelled at me how I like could possibly let this happen. And like those are his boots, bro. What are you talking to me about? Like they weren't even that horrible, if I remember correctly. But it's
They were
like
pretty
that's
bad, dude. They were pretty fucking bad.
but like,
He's
yeah, they
trashed.
were they might not have been the best, but he was in the
But like,
back. He was
how are you gonna get mad at me? These boots are dirty because I'm doing what you told me to do. Like you're
Perspective.
upset.
Perspective.
let you not be
like,
working. Let the boots be
yeah,
clean, bro. Then there's
yeah.
a
If those
problem.
boots are clean, yeah, I have a problem anyways. Either way, I got a fucking problem. No, I was just
But I
editing that video,
Yeah,
Kev.
it's not your fault, Kevin. It's not your fault his
dude,
boots are
but
dirty. He's
but
a
I
grown
was
ass
driving
man.
home
He's
in my
serving in the
99
military. Grown ass man.
bro, in my 99 Camry, I'm thinking, how the fuck did I let that happen, dude? How could I be so
Love that.
fucking
Big
ignorant
brother,
to let
baby.
that shit
Big
happen?
brother.
No, literally, I was like, bro, how the fuck did I let Trev do that? How the hell did this guy get his Cash App hacked trying to buy some bad stuff?
uh,
How did I let all this happen? But like, it was all shit that like I really couldn't control. But I would just fucking pound myself, bro.
dude, mine
It's
was the
just
same shit with my ex-wife cheating on me. She cheated on me, and I tell this to a lot of people because I think it's a crazy thought. The first thought that popped in my head was, how did I fuck this up? Like, what the fuck did I do? They're like,
That's your
dude,
ego.
you didn't do anything.
Yeah.
You're in Iraq. What are you gonna do? Like, yeah, but I fucked something up somewhere. What the fuck did I do wrong? It took me a long ass time to realize that it's
Yeah,
not
and
just my
then
fault.
and then like that, I'm sorry that it happened to you. That's terrible. But you start as a man, or even if it happened and it was the roles reversed, as a woman, whatever it may be, if you're in that position where you're overseas and that is out of your control, like you're not physically there, again, I don't know the context of it, but that's you can't do anything about it. Like, but then you
No.
start in your head, you're like, should I have gone away? Should I have left her? Right? Like, should I have even done this? Should I be
Yeah.
here? Should I not have enlisted? Like, all that shit starts running in your head, and you can beat yourself up, and you can be like, am I even doing the right thing? If I never enlisted, like, would I have a great thing going on right now? Would I have a wife? Would I have a kid? Like, it's just your mind's the greatest storyteller.
No.
Man. You just start going in a rabbit hole of what you could have done differently when
Yeah, and then it's like, what can I
it's
do
out
now?
of your control, and it's a
Yeah.
very hard thing to grasp because I'm a control freak in some aspects, and like I tend to be a perfectionist sometimes, and I want to be able to play this role of a director where I control my life, and that's just realistically will never ever happen. And I've learned to accept that.
The Army's bad when I'm blaming myself because his wife cheated on him.
There you
Like,
go.
that's literally
Oh.
what I thought, bro. Like, I'm supposed to be responsible for this dude's welfare, and he's like in this shit ass spot. Like, what did I do wrong?
For another
It's
person back
Ah.
for a third
it's
party's
so funny
action.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's
but
neither of our faults.
it's funny now, but it's just like that's such a shitty tendency. Like, I think the whole like accept responsibility for your life and most things in it. Like, I think that's generally like a net positive. That's a good thing. It's just finding out like when you have a situation where it isn't actually in your control.
Yeah.
That is so hard to reconcile. I think.
Dude, like you're saying, I was going through my head overseas. I'm like, all right, what could I do? And I call a couple people. I call my mom. I'm like, Mom, what should I be doing right now? Like, if I'm going to go through a divorce, what should I be doing? She's like, change your direct deposit, change your bank, change everything. I went to go do all those things on the list, and I couldn't because I was in Iraq. And then I finally realized, I'm like, oh fuck, dude, like I got no control on it. None of this. Anything. She could go take my whole bank account right now if she wanted to. Anything could happen. She could fucking light the house on fire. Anything could happen. Nothing. I can do nothing now.
And
So,
that's a hard place to be in, man. It's like you're in like a mental prison. You can't do much. It's not, and you have to like let go of it. You're like, all right,
yeah.
yeah. I hope it falls into place. I hope she doesn't burn the house down. I hope she doesn't bang my brother or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, dude.
A
Anything.
whole
No,
hanger, bro.
the dude that was with me over, like, we were roommates together. He was friends with the guy. And I turned around furious. This was the nicest. The dude, even after all this, the dude saved me from like getting way too addicted to sleeping pills. But I turned to him. I'm like, he wouldn't do this, right? He's like, no, I know, Kevin. He wouldn't do this. I'm like, don't fucking lie to me, dude. Like, and this is the nicest dude in our whole unit,
Yeah.
dude. Mulberry, Kev. Like,
Oh, what?
literally
It
the
was him?
yeah, it was the
Oh
nicest
my
fucking
god.
dude. And I'm like, dude, you better not be fucking lying to me. Like, you would know. Is he fucking? And this poor guy, I just wanted someone to give me an answer, and this poor guy got caught in the crossfire.
Our
It's so
shops
fucking
and
weird.
our hangar were about 60 feet away, so we were interacting regularly with each other. Like, I don't even know what to fucking say about him, bro.
Yeah, no, hey,
Fuck
but back
that
to what
dude.
you said. You said a little bit ago, life is fun. And someone just texted me this past week. Shout out if you're watching, you know who you are. Asking like, hey, I figured you're the guy to ask. I'm in like a little rut, just kind of feel like weird, blah. And my response was, dude, just throw a wrench in whatever routine you got. Go do something, make life interesting. Life is fun. There's so many things you could do, especially now in our time. You could do anything. Go down the street, you'll find something. But throw a wrench in your plans to where you can make life exciting again. Because once it gets exciting again, your mind gets taken off all the boring shit that you think you should be thinking about.
Yeah, it's hard without drugs though, bro. It's a bit. I'm a drug guy. Like,
Nah,
how do you?
I'm going to Costa Rica next week, dude. I told myself I want to go to Costa Rica like 10 years ago. It's been on my quote list. I never took action. I was like, yeah, I don't want to take off work. I don't really know. One of my buddies, like from high school, he's been living out there since 2019. I said, fuck it, dude. Like, I'm gonna take some time off of work. I'm gonna go to Costa Rica. This is like the first like quote vacation I'm going where it's like not a guy's trip or we were like I'm not talking about like a retreat or anything like that. I'm talking about like a guy's trip or it's just one city.
Yeah.
Go. And or like a vacation with a girl or something like that. Like, dude, I'm not doing any of that shit, dude. I'm like doing this to like tap into myself and like go explore, go do shit. I'm like zip lining the canopies. Like I'm gonna go
That's another fucking.
that.
That's another vice. Is the girls? How do you feel just tackling this yourself?
Dude.
I think it's a lot better, dude. I've been going back and forth. It feels so much better without a
It's
girl to just
it gives
take
you
it.
less distraction. It gives you less distraction because like, you know, it doesn't matter who the girl is. You're gonna have to make sacrifices. You don't want to go out that night. You had a long week of work. Her girlfriend's in town. She wants to show you off and take you out to this one place you don't want to go. Throw it. You know what's gonna happen if you say no to it, right? So it's like you go to you don't. I said saying no is a superpower, but like if you're not with a girl, like you don't have to have that thing. But like if you say no, that happens. If you say yes, you're fucking miserable, and then like you're hungover, you don't want to be there. It's a waste of time. Like there's always and like probably you'll say something wrong too because you're not gonna do
Every
anything
time, baby.
every
This
Yeah.
time.
guy. This.
So it's like
Notorious for doing
you're
this shit.
gonna fuck up. And you guys see Game of Thrones?
Yes, dude.
You know
Yes.
who's the was it Ramsay? Who was the kid? The fucking villain? He like sent one of the Starks out and across the battlefield. He fucking picked them
Dude,
off to die.
I just watched that episode last night.
Dude, that's so
Whoa.
weird. You know what I'm
Yes.
talking
No, I
about?
haven't
Where he
seen Game of
just
Thrones. Yes.
he
It's
sent to
Ramsey.
die.
And it's the
Ramsay.
battle of the bastards. It's season 6, like episode
16.
9 or something. I haven't seen any Game of Thrones in years. Went to my cousin's house yesterday because he moved out of his house. Followed him to my aunt's house, and they ended up watching that episode. And he's like, let's play a game. Run to your brother.
Go
Don't stop
volunteer,
running.
boom. But
And
yeah,
he's
no,
just
like
sniping him.
sometimes that was, that was you get put in a situation where you just don't like, all right, I'll fuck you. But no, it's
Oh no way.
it's been all right, man. Like it's you gotta again like I think I have some codependency issues, especially when it comes to girls, and that also stemmed from like the fact that like I don't like being alone much. Um,
Mhm.
but I'm kind of I'm working on being alone more and like keeping myself busy and I talked about like not having any friends when I first moved down to this town. It's not because I couldn't make them, it's because I didn't want them. I was like I already have like
Mhm.
my friends, they're in New York and stuff like that. I visit them on weekends, stuff like that, and I cut myself off and I would just isolate down here. But I found friends down here, good group of guys, man, and like I do shit, man. Like it's not, I it's gonna sound bad, but like you don't deal with the nags. Like it's just like
Oh,
like it's just like you don't like you can and like look like that's I'm not saying like I'll never not get married. Like I do want to get married and have kids, but like right now in this transitional period of growth, like it's I do think it's important to put myself first. I think
Yeah.
I think it almost makes it impossible if I were to be, fully committed where I wasn't putting myself first and, let's say like I said, like it's like early recovery sobriety for me. So it's like, I've been able to go out, right? I've been able to go to like my best friend's wedding. I've been able to like do things, I still like DJ here and there, in, like the city and stuff like that. Like I go out, like I'm still able to like go out and like, run around Manhattan like soberly and like, cause I'm not just a high energetic person. Like I can like go out, like listen to like cool music and go to clubs and like still talk to
Mhm.
girls, dude. Like I can still do all that. But like, um, let's just say like she wanted you to go to a wedding or something like that, and like you felt uncomfortable. Like say you were in a great state of mind that week, or like you're having a bad time, like, and you had other commitments and priorities to make to better yourself, and you said no to going to this social event. That's a fight, and like that's unnecessary drama for you because like that could take you off a path,
Yeah.
right? We talked about focusing on like your side of the street, right? If you're cleaning your side of the street, you have the other side of the street that you're codependent with. That shit's all like messy. Like they're not fixed either, and like you're not like it won't go. It won't like it won't.
No, no, dude. I got to that realization, and I asked my therapist the last time. I was like, "Look, dude, I don't know what's really going on, but I almost feel bad that like, let's say I go out, with my cousin, my brother, we're out drinking, whatever, and then I just talk and hang out with these chicks, and then I leave. They get mad at me for just leaving. It's that bad of a culture. It's like, what's wrong with this guy? He doesn't want to, take me home or nothing. It's like, no, I want to go home, or I don't want to give up my soul for no reason. And I asked my therapist, and I'm like, is this a weird thing to be going through? Like, it makes me feel weird to finally say like I don't need a girl, because you start at age fucking 6 in 3rd grade thinking about Sally in math class,
Her
but
name was
finally it's
Whitney.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Mine's Gabby, but anyways,
Sup,
besides the
Gabby?
point. Yeah, shout out to Gabby if she's watching this. She knows who she
Shout out
is.
to Gabby, bro.
But now I come to my therapist. I'm like, look, dude, I'm not thinking about anyone. When they come to me, I push them away. Like, is this an unhealthy thing? And I thought it was what he said. It's not. It's not at all. It's the Jordan Peterson thing. You're a collection of yous, and I'm just preparing my future self for the actual relationship I want. Because the future self, the idea of what I have as a family and everything would not be achievable unless I took this time without a girl to figure it all out.
You'd be a
That's
better
what's crazy.
person, and I bet you'd be a better partner too to that person too,
Mhm.
because you're not fixed. You've committed yourself to a growth, right? And you don't want to stunt it because you don't want to stunt your future self and like it because it. Yeah, I mean, again, like you have to like learn to truly love yourself before you can love someone. Like, dude,
Yeah.
I had that same thing, man. Where like I was always I was always reluctant to let certain people too close to me, and when they did, I had a natural defense mechanism of pushing them away. And it's when I didn't like when I knew I really cared and liked that person, but I would self sabotage. I would just try to blow it up because I didn't want them to hurt me before I could hurt them. And that's an ego thing. And that's something that,
Mm.
that could have stemmed from it's not a relationship with my
Anything.
mom, but it's somewhere, right? Like it's, because or maybe I didn't feel I was good enough for it. This is so funny, and I did not do this on purpose. Dude, I've been kind of rubbing this rock right now that says like accept, right?
Yeah.
You have to be able to accept that people will love you. Like I had a hard time with that, man. I really did. And there's a lot of good in the world. I just like I always like, especially during that dark period of time, like when people would love me, friends, girls, family, like I had a hard time accepting that because I didn't think I deserved it.
Shit, let me ask you this then. It's like when we were talking about taking inventory of all the shit you've done, right? There is a lot of stuff that is out of your control, right? But on the other hand, there is a lot of stuff that is also 100% your control, and you messed it up. How do you not hate yourself for all that?
Hate's a strong word in that regard. I think you could be disappointed. You could say you played your cards wrong. That's the wrong analogy for it. More so like you can, when you did consciously mess it up, you just have to, and I don't think it's a coping mechanism. It might sound like it. I don't think it is. Come to the realization that you could have a resentment towards yourself for it, but you have to understand that we're humans. We make mistakes. Okay, we talked about being perfectionists. We talked about, trying to control everything and be perfect. Humans make mistakes. If you consciously mess something up in like a sober state of mind and you're like, did this, or you acted out, or you pushed her away, God forbid, dude, I would never do this in my life. You hit her or something like that, something that you did, right? And you're like, That's a little bit of an extreme analogy, but you have to ask for forgiveness with it because you're gonna have resentment towards yourself, but you can't. You could be hard on yourself, but you have to find some way to like forgive yourself, or else the next person that comes into your life, you might, you could learn from it. You learn from the mistake, right? You don't do it again. Um, that's a hard one. That's a really hard one because I'm gonna mess up. I'm gonna consciously say something. I'm gonna do something that person's not gonna like. It's asking yourself, I think, for forgiveness, making amends with them, and then just asking yourself for forgiveness. I think would be my best way to answer that. That's a tough one.
Yeah, it is really tough because there's a lot of shit that I'm like, bro, I was such a piece of shit for doing that stuff.
Well, give me an
Like,
example, if you don't mind.
I cheated on my wife,
Were you sober?
ish. I was
Okay.
drinking a little bit.
Yeah. Well, if you're cheating, it's I've cheated. I'm not
Say I
saying.
was sober, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, yeah, okay. If
Yeah,
you were
I,
sober and if you were sober and you cheated, take all that out of the equation. It's you weren't mentally, spiritually there. Something was bothering you that made you go do that, right? You
yeah,
didn't have the strength, you didn't have the voice to break up with them, right? Or tell them this isn't for me. I'm having an interest somewhere else, right? That's hard because you didn't want to maybe hurt them. And that's a good thing. That's you being empathetic and you don't want to hurt them. But and that would be putting yourself first, right? If you have another interest,
mhm.
and you want to go do it, you didn't put yourself first, and that's what you did. You get my point
Yeah.
is like it's something going on internally to make you do that, right? There's other ways to go about it. If you wanted to move on with that girl, you could have had the conversation, the really difficult conversation, saying, "Hey, this isn't working for me," and then maybe going from there and saying, why isn't this working together? Is the chemistry off? Did we lose a spark? Are you not doing X, Y, Z? You probably had resentments towards the person you cheated on, if I were to guess.
yeah, yeah. Because it wasn't like I woke up and thought to just do it one day. It was just like I felt like yeah, like, oh, this would be a fun idea, right?
It
It
was
was,
probably I'm not a specialist by any means, and I do know what I'm talking about sometimes, but a lot of times sometimes I don't. But I would say that you had built up resentment in yourself, or no, sorry, towards her to make you do that act, and that
yeah,
that was that was never hashed, right? You never
it
had that
was,
conversation.
it was like whatever I was saying. Like whenever I'd bring anything up, it always seemed like it was my fault, right? Like I would bring up something that annoyed me, and it was just like I would think, how is this going to be my fault? Like I felt like I was going to get blamed for everything, and like I wasn't being listened to. Like I just like there was an emotional like assurance, I guess. Like I did not feel validated in a way, to use that word. I just did not feel like what I was feeling was the right thing. Like I just felt wrong about everything, you know. But then like we finally had that conversation, and I mean it was right here in this room actually. I'll never forget. Bro, I was sore from crying for like 3 days. But after that, bro, I felt so good. Like I was so reassured. I felt so optimistic. And I never got the urge to do it again. It was just like it seems so obvious now. Like I did it because there was something I wasn't getting at home, right? But then at the end of the day I still did it. So then it's like, well, how do I accept that I'm not just some evil guy and that I was doing this because I was lacking something, you know?
Mhm.
That's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. The way I stop myself from thinking I'm evil is saying is recognizing evil. So almost kind of like what Rob's saying. It's like the evil came through me in a different way. So like for instance, cheat on your wife. You know that's wrong. We all know that's wrong. We all know we shouldn't do it. I mean, it's pretty well known. Don't cheat on your wife. The Now after the fact you've done it, the feeling that you have because you did it, that's something I try not to forget. It's like this is what I did when I did this. It's just like the hangover. You wake up, you're like fucking
Yes.
hungover. This is how I
It's
feel. And then you squat. So he's saying I agree with him. You probably did that because you had built up resentment or for whatever happened.
I would say that's an
You've
accurate way to put that. Yeah.
now you've learned through it all anyways. So who know the way I think you learned by doing this. Not the right thing to do, but it was a solution. You
Yeah.
solved all of the not all of the problems, but the problems you were having, you solved them. So yeah, may have been an evil act, but the amount of good that came out of it, does it outweigh it? I don't know. That's
I
something
would say it 100% outweighs it. I
right.
would say for all the anguish that I caused my wife, the other way wasn't working. Like, that's the flip
Right,
side of this
right,
coin.
right,
The
yeah.
other way
So,
would have
you
just
could say
been,
you're evil for being the other way.
exactly. It's the
Yeah.
if the other way had just been kept going, I wouldn't even be here right now. So it's like they're two sides of the same coin in a way. It's like, okay, I'm evil if I just put up with this shit and hash it out until I literally can't no more. Or then I just do my own thing and then I'm still bad. I'm like the bad guy both ways, you know? But it's like I was talking to another one of my friends who's also struggled with this problem. We have a phrase in the army, hunt the good stuff. It's like you want to hunt the good, like the good stuff that's rarely there as much as it needs to be, right? But I coined the phrase hunt the bad stuff because with shit, especially like cheating or drugs or some other degenerate behavior, we'll always get that urge. Like, I don't care who you are. You're always going to think, man, how good would it feel to cheat or rip a fat line? You know what I'm talking about, bro. Both y'all do. You always have the urge, right? But then I think, okay, what is the other side of this? Is like hunt the bad stuff is lying all the time to everyone that you care about. Is like looking your fucking someone that you love in the eye and lying to them. It's worrying if you're going to get the call, hey, I'm pregnant for a whole month. It's worrying about, oh, I got another STD or something, you know? It's like you always have to kind of keep in mind the bad side of your behaviors like that.
I think when you talked about can you learn from one of those things? It's like talking about being a better version of yourself later, after this mistake has happened, and it's a terrible moment of time. And the thing about the moment of time is like it will pass eventually, on its own. Like it'll be whatever instance it is, it'll have its own period of time, whatever that may be. But it does pass, and it in the moment you have a very difficult. They always think it's the end of the world.
Yeah.
Right. I remember
Yeah.
something happened to me in college. I thought I called my mom crying. I was like, oh.
Today's episode sponsored by Honor Guard Coffee. I know what you're thinking. Another coffee brand? And the answer is yes. However, this coffee brand is much better. This coffee brand was made to support veterans. With 25% of the proceeds going towards veterans, the mission of Honor Guard Coffee is simple. Pair each veteran with a service dog. On top of that, each blend is named after a service animal that actually served, including their perfect breakfast blend, Cairo, the Belgian Malinois there on the Bin Laden raid. Think of Black Rifle Coffee Company, but with more help towards veterans, a better taste, and dogs. We all love dogs, so we all love Honor Guard Coffee. Am I right? I'm just a regular coffee guy, typically drink that garbage you get from Walmart. And let me tell you, if you are that guy, try this and you will never want to go back to Walmart again. Steven sent me a package. It was phenomenal. I had no idea coffee could taste this great. So the owner, Steven, was on our show, episode 57. If you want to take a look, link will be down below. He's an ex-Marine who struggled through his fair share of mental health and is simply looking to make a change. We're looking to make a similar change, stop veteran suicide. And we couldn't be more proud that our mission aligns so well with our first sponsor. So for that, thank you, Honor Guard Coffee. Thank you, Steven. And if you are looking to purchase, first, thank you. And the description will include the link to buy. Now, back to the podcast. I have to bring the Jews up.
What was that?
There we go. There we go.
What's up, boys?
We're back.
Let's
Welcome
go.
back.
All right. So what I was saying
You were crying.
What I was saying was, got my girlfriend pregnant, accidentally, found out that I was cheating on her. That all came out in the moment. I'm like, this is the worst thing that's ever gonna happen. I'm not seeing the future. It blows over. awful moment in time, but it passed. And I think now when I will learn from it. I try to learn. Am I perfect? No. Do I still have temptations? Sure. I'm a guy. I'm human. I mean, all guys are different sometimes. I don't know. But for me, personally speaking, dude,
I'm
I
with you.
still have periods, right? Like I always think the grass will be greener on the other side, and it's not. But it's I play the tapes. I like that expression a lot. You play the tapes. You run it back in your head how that felt in that moment of time. Do you want to go back to that? That was terrible. There's so many other ways that you could have handled that. So that did never happen, like a butterfly effect. But you play the tapes, like same thing with like, all right, for example, like you don't want to go to this party, right? It's not going to be good for you. You might have trouble saying no to it. If you say yes, maybe play the tapes. I remember what that party was like. Like it was that's not a place where I don't want to be right now. And like or like that go out with like those group of friends with like those girls or something like that. Like that wasn't good for me at this moment of time. Like playing the tapes and just reminding yourself like kind of what works and what doesn't. That's like my advice on like, what I kind of use for myself. And as far as learning from like a really shitty situation. And because it has to be some sort of like growing experience for you because like
Yeah.
it has to be.
If not, it's just a damn mess.
Yeah.
You have to, that's typically, yeah, that's what happens. You have something bad happens, and then finally you're like, all right, I need to start learning from what I do. I need to not do this again. What did I do wrong?
How do you facilitate that with your friends then?
uh
I'm not coming.
no,
Yo,
Hey,
you might
I'm not coming.
like, how
for
do
me
you help your friends grow? You know?
I have a really good support system where like right now in my point in my life, like if I tell my friends like, this party's not for me tonight, um, they'll understand. They're not gonna like not talk to me ever again. And actually they'll like some people will respect it. But for the most part, dude, it's still fucking tough. And then my ego gets in the way. I'm like, oh dude, they hate me. I suck. Like I'm not cool anymore. But that's fucking love my friends, dude, so much, man. But like that would be their own issue. If they had a problem with me not coming to a party, that's a problem. If you're not gonna
Not
talk
my
to me,
friend.
if you're not
Yo,
talking to me, if you're not gonna talk to me anymore because like I'm not staying until 7 a.m. with you, shipping business ideas to each other in a shitty kitchen and we don't know the person who lives there is, then all right, we're not friends. That's a you issue, man. Like it's like some shit you just gotta like let go that doesn't serve you anymore, man. Like and that's hard. It definitely is hard. But you have to put yourself first in the end. Like we talked about in the beginning, like you're in this fucking body and mind all the time. It has to be, you gotta put it first, man, or else you're gonna suffer in your own ways, whether you know it or not.
let me then ask you this. So, like, if you have a friend, right, that you know is just going through it, but he doesn't tell you, like, he's putting on that face. Everything's all good, you know. Well, how do you approach that? You can take a minute to think. No, I know it's a hard ass
No, it's
question.
I would see signs towards like, isolation be one. I don't know, dude. That conversation's hard. That conversation is hard. Like, I think right now, if I have one friend off the top of my head, like who I could actually reach out to in a serious manner and be like, dude, are you good? And the only aspect is like my ego getting away because like I'd be if he says, hey, dude, I'm fucking fine. Like now that you cleaned up your act or trying to clean up your act, now you think everyone's not happy, right? And then like if he says
Yeah.
like, no, I'm in a good fucking spot, I'm embarrassed, right? So it's that conversation could be hard to have, but like you guys know, man, like that conversation could save their life, dude. Because like,
Yeah,
man, like they could be like, dude, I'm not okay. I'm absolutely not okay. Thanks for reaching out to me. Like, I
yeah,
tried seeing a therapist. She's not working. Like, I need you, man. This is what I'm going through. X, Y, Z. Like, I'm not happy
yeah. And
here.
I'll put it this way too: is like, Kev, that time you came to my house and my gun was on my bed, and you were like, "Yo, like,
What is
you
that?
all right?"
Yeah.
My first reaction was like, "Yo, who the fuck? Get the fuck out of here, bro. Yeah, I'm fine. But then,
Naturally so.
took-
Naturally, I
exactly.
think that's
It took me about 0.5 seconds to realize. Then it's like, oh no, this guy cares about me, and it's
Yeah.
nice because those type of people, if they're doing something, most of those people don't get somebody who asks them that, and that's why they're doing that. The people going out drinking every weekend are doing that because they don't have anybody to go talk to on that level. So the chances are, in my opinion, the chances are higher that you are going to help them in a manner they need to be helped in, rather than hurting them or hurting the relationship.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, you talked about, sometimes like through, substances and alcohol is like you have like these conversations that are quote meaningless. And, there are some good conversations that you can have on them, but like you're not all that present, man. You're not. Your head's not there. And
yeah.
I think a lot of people could like benefit more, and people have a hard time because people did say it's like gay shit. To be honest with you, if I ask you how you're feeling, you're like, I genuinely want to know how you're doing. Like people have a hard time, man to man, getting yourself together, even if it's one of your boys. Like I, I think like having a conversation like this that we're having now, a beautiful conversation, dude. Well, all three of us are once we hang up, we're all gonna get something out of this. For anyone listening, they're gonna get something out of it. Like they're not asking like who won the game. It's just like you can have other conversations that aren't revolved around like some sort of like degenerate behavior. Dude, those are fun as fuck. You can still have those conversations whether you're involved in it or not, but like life has so much substance and layers, and like if you truly care about a person, like you ask the hard-hitting questions. You might feel uncomfortable, they might feel uncomfortable. Once you have the conversation, I guarantee you after 10 minutes, once you get past that like weird awkward phase, because it will be a little bit weird,
Yeah.
it will be weird. Like you guys look get way closer. Get way closer to 30-minute, like actual deep conversation, hour conversation, rather than, fucking a 10-hour bender together, dude. It's just how it's gonna be.
I think one thing that's so big too is being someone that others are comfortable being vulnerable with. It's not easy to say, I had a problem or here's how I lied to you. But that's impossible to say that to someone when you think that they're going to freak out, right? Like we saw this in the army is I got called a soft NCO. It's like a leader in the army, right? Soft because I wasn't yelling at the guys all the time. But on the other hand, I knew that if one of them had a problem, they would come to me first. Like
All
if
day.
you're all day, right? Because you knew that I would handle it and I wouldn't just be some giant bullshit like I would understand. But it's like that I think is the biggest obstacle in other people telling their friends this stuff is like if I don't think that Trevor will accept me, there's no way I'm going to open up to him. Like we're just I don't think we're as assuring as we need to be just as
I
men.
think, yeah, Kev, I think that's a lot. That's how I frame a lot of how I direct this question, or like, what do I say to a friend in struggling? That's kind of what I start with is like, hey, dude, when I went through this is what I did. So that, like, I'm coming to them vulnerable so that they don't have to make the first card. They don't have to play down the first vulnerability card. It's me coming, say, hey, dude. That's why I started the podcast, because that's what gets people talking. When someone hears like me say, hey, dude, I put a gun to my head and I'm still living. That's what
Yeah.
gets you talking. So for this guy, if I see someone drinking too much, text them, hey, dude, this is what caused me to drink. Like, drinking so much caused me to put a gun to my head. I'm just making sure, like, that's the end goal if you go down that rabbit hole or something. Like, that's
But
kind of,
yeah, put it to you like this. Would you ever tell Amundsen that you put a gun to your head?
no.
No. He was a boss that we had is probably the most toxic leader I ever knew in the army. He would freak out. That's the guy who yelled at me for Trevor's boots being dirty. So that's what I'm saying is for people like that, you cannot expect people to open up to them because you know that they're going to freak out. I can think of like 5 people in the army just right now that I would never tell anything like this to because I knew that they would judge me. You use drugs. Why are you such a piece of shit? You cheat on your wife. Why are you such a shithead? Like
I
there's no
got a
humanity.
speeding ticket and all of a sudden I was the devil.
Oh
What a
my
fucking devil
God,
himself walked back from that traffic stop.
brother, you should have seen. We pulled up in Amundsen's office, and he's like asking Trevor, "You got a
Fucking shit
speeding
out of him.
ticket? Why?" Like, bro, why does anyone get a speeding ticket? I was gonna ask him, why
Speed,
did he get a
dude.
DUI? Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, oh, no one's open up to me, or no one's opening up to me. Why is this when I just get livid at Trevor for getting a speeding ticket for going like 15 over, bro? Like you were going
Yeah,
100 miles an
a
hour, bro.
whole
Like,
ass
Probably
guy.
made him. It probably made himself feel better doing that.
that's
Oh
the
yeah,
sad
dude.
part. Yeah, once you
Yeah.
realize what's going on and like why he's acting like this, it it's just
No,
so sad.
when I figured out he had a DUI, nothing else mattered. I'm like, dude, you could fucking say whatever you want.
Yeah, dude. I
I
don't give a
just know,
fuck what
like,
he's.
I don't know what pedestal you're standing on, but that shit's broke, dude. Like,
But the
you have to
face
fix.
when he would put up it was always credibility. He said credibility to me like once a day almost, bro. And it's just like, bro, why are you preaching credibility in the least credible person that I know in this hangar? But then it's like, do I hate the guy for that? You know, like, how do you not build
Yeah.
resentment to a guy like that? If you know someone's bullshitting you, how do you not resent them? Like,
That,
Um,
yeah, no, it's
I don't know. I don't know, man.
you know
in
what?
one ear
Actually,
out
yeah,
the in one ear out the other, and focus on your own shit.
yeah.
I like,
I'll give you
but a position of power that he had over you guys. It's like you have to deal with it, right? So then, like, you're kind of stuck in that position. Um, yeah, it's just like you guys gotta zone it out.
yeah. No,
It's
Kev.
tough though when they're in your ear and they tell you how much of a piece of shit you are. You start actually being like, oh
Oh,
fuck, I'm
dude,
awful.
the same exact thing
It's
happened,
like
Kev.
it's like a coach yelling at you, man. Like there's certain coaches that there's players coaches and there's like then there's not players coaches. Like some players, any sport, football, soccer, whatever. Like there's some people that like do well when they're yelled at, like their jobs might be on the line, someone else on the bench ready to take their spot. And there's other people that actually will perform better if they're like pampered to or prima donnas to. And like you gotta find a balance for that. Like, right. Like, there's certain coaches that like think that the harder they are and you like the better you're gonna play. But like, dude, like 90% of life is confidence, man. Like if you keep knocking someone's confidence down, doesn't matter what you're doing. You're asking a girl out, you're trying to figure out what you want to eat for dinner. Um, like way you carry yourself like in a grocery store, man, everything's confidence. And like someone like higher up than you keeps knocking you down at like what you're doing for your job or your profession, like that's gonna take a toll on you and you're gonna be in your head. You're not gonna have that anymore. And like you have to like protect that, dude. You have to put those walls up and you gotta set boundaries. You have to set boundaries. Boundaries are so important. I found out, man. Like I let a lot of people get to me. And boundaries are something that I'm definitely working on. And protecting yourself. And when you have like someone so toxic, like you just said, like that can eat away at you and like make you feel like you're just not good enough, right? Who's he to say? But he's telling you because he's higher up than you. It's
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. No, Kev.
Literally.
Because I could relate that to being divorced and still asking her questions about the divorce. So I already knew the truth of what everything happened, dude. I knew everything, and I would ask her a question about it, and she would bullshit her way through the whole question.
Ugh.
And the way I would get through it is it was almost like like a simulated practice. It was like, all right, how do I spot the bullshit? And I would almost like take mental notes in my head. Is like, okay, that's a key. Like right here, this is how I know someone's talking bullshit. This is how I would start
Yo.
analyzing how I knew someone would be bullshitting me because I knew there was hands down. I knew in my head for sure she's bullshitting. So it's like, all right, what does a bullshitter do? And
Whoa.
that's how I would, yeah, that's how I would
dude,
cope with it because I already knew.
I dated she's like a doctor now, man. She's a
Oh damn!
Of course. Of course.
she's a therapist. Like she goes by like Doctor XYZ. Not gonna put the name out there. And dude, like I dated her. I dated her for like 5 years, and like dude, like I would like blink twice. She's like, "You're lying," or like I was doing something with my hands, like, "You're lying," and you know I was probably lying. But there were certain times where I genuinely was just trying to tell the truth, but I have so much ADD and like I like be blanking or I don't know, dude. That's probably
No, it's
lying.
so true. Once he left, because people are only in army positions for 2 years, right? So I knew that there was like a lot at the end of the tunnel. Once he left, dude, I had such like a good piece of shit meter. Like I could tell when you were not a man of substance, you know? Like if you're gonna call me a turd for Trevor getting a fucking speeding ticket, you better be Mother Teresa your damn self, bro. Like I learned too that because I didn't know that he had a DUI up until like a few minutes
I
before
had
we
no
were
idea.
dealing with that. Is I knew that people always got baggage. There's always something they're not telling you. Like who is anyone in a position? Like no one's in a position to call me, like to degrade me when I know that they got something to fucking. They got some skeletons in their closet too. So it's I would say it was beneficial in that way. I mean, there'd be times where I was heading every day, I'd head to work thinking, what am I going to get blamed for today? Like I couldn't do anything right. But then after that, it was like I was so calloused up that I could just like, I felt really capable. So I guess at the end of the day, man, like it was a net positive.
Dude, yeah, no, you learn the Bible. He that is without sin among you,
Oh,
let him
dude,
cast the first stone. And
especially
then you
after
realize
that,
the reverse.
because like the NCOs gossiped amongst each other, and I'd only been an NCO when Amundsen got there for like 3 months, no time at all. Like he didn't teach me anything. But then once he left, and I was a kind of a seniorish guy, I was starting gossip, and that's when I figured out like, oh, this dude like is really controlling. He's a real narcissist. Like you could tell by his eyes, right? But like
Yeah.
I really got some tea when he left, and then I'm thinking, bro, this dude is no one. Like, why did I let him get to me like this? Like that was so foolish in the time. Like it taught me no one's gonna get to me calling me dumb shit, bro. Like you got to wake up pretty early to try and pull that off me now.
No one's calling me stupid no more.
No, bro. Well, fuck them. Let me. You cool if I ask the final question, Trev?
Yeah, dude. Let's send it. What are we at?
Let's send it.
117?
So
Yeah.
almost dinner time. Let me. I got the final question.
Okay.
What are you afraid of right now, Rob?
They're so afraid of taking risks. Risks are
Yeah.
tough for me. Yeah, I preach a lot. The comfort zone is the growth graveyard, and you gotta get out of your comfort zone. And there's some things that I'm dealing with, like career wise, where I feel really comfortable right now. But I think like in my soul, like in my intuition is telling me like this is not, you know, this is not what I'm meant to do. And that's grass isn't always greener on the other side. But I think at this point in my life, I don't, I know myself better than anyone, right? So it's like for the last 5 years, dude, I've been sitting in an office chair. I never got to work from home. I was always an essential worker. I sit in a desk for 10 hours a day. It's just I think I'm put on this earth for a much bigger purpose. Is it going to pay as well? Probably not. It won't. Is the payoff going to be better though in life? Yes. I'm afraid though. Right? Like I like my apartment. I like my car. I like being able to go on like nice vacations. I like to have that luxury and in a sense of like financial freedom in a sense, but I also look at where it got me, right? I went on a Johnny Manziel bender. It's like it's that eats at me a lot. And I'm not trying to make any drastic decisions, and this is something that I've been thinking a lot about, but it's a risk scares me, because like I know that this job will be back here if the other thing doesn't work out too, but it's taking the jump and leaving something that I could be comfortable with, but I'm not happy with, right? It's like I think I've always been genuinely materialistic in my lifestyle, and I always wanted certain things in life, and you know I, this job I've in has kind of given me golden handcuffs and essentially a freedom to do those things. But if I'm not happy for 10 hours a day, I'm in the office. Let's call it 6:30 to 5, and I go to bed at 10 o'clock. I only have 5 hours to myself. That's not a good way to live. And what? Do we keep looking forward to the weekend? You know what I mean? So it's I feel like I have a lot to offer people. And I feel like that's really hard to do behind a desk chair, looking at three monitors. And I struggle with that. And it eats at me. And that's something I'm gonna work on because I feel like I have a lot of I feel like I have feel like I have a story to tell, and I feel like I could teach people some things. And in doing so, will be helping myself doing it. And I got some ideas. I always have some like stuff working up in my head of like things I want to do, but it's the risk of doing it, taking action on it. So risk.
Yeah, you're not alone. I'll tell you that, dude. I'm in the middle
Oh
of
no.
dealing with that shit myself. It's different, dude. Not a lot more people take risks now than ever before. I want to say. I think
Would
there's
agree. Would
a
agree.
lot more people willing to put their life and paycheck on the line to succeed and get the American dream. Um, the risk for me, yeah, the risk for me is also pretty damn scary because my risk is kind of different actually because I have a plan and I know if I just stick to the plan, I'll be fine. I could do it. My plan is doctorate in psychology. I could take that to the moon. And now it's deviating from that plan is the risk. So for me, it's like, and I'm in limbo right now for about 6 months because I'm not in school. The risks is doing something else and veering off that path too much. To me, that's like I don't want to do that, but I'm also at the point where I want to and almost have to, and it's I don't know. It's a different risk that I'm used to taking because it's like risking what I say to myself almost. Like I'm telling myself I will succeed in this realm, and then I'll come back and I will get my doctorate still. But it's all up in the air, and it's I don't know.
It's
Risk is a interesting thing. You don't want to leave your comfortable zone.
it's
Yeah.
scary. Like I'm out like an hour outside of Nashville, Tennessee, right? And I'm moving back to Colorado in April.
Nice.
And like it's so scary to me. Like I've made a move to get out here, but then like it's scary moving your wife and dogs and all this shit, like selling the house across country. But it's like, okay, I'll look at the alternative. Like, bro, I'm not happy here in Tennessee. Like I've been here for since 2015. That's almost 10 years. Like
Yeah.
I'm not happy here, but I'm so freaking scared to do all this shit to get out there. But the only thing I could think of is just like, well, okay, what is the alternative? I just stay here forever and just hate it. Like, for as scary as moving out your entire family is, it's nothing compared to staying here, waking up when I'm 50 years old, thinking, what
What
would have
did I
happened?
do? Yeah, that's all I regret. And that's the thing, man. Like it's you have the luxury and you're young enough and everything falls into place and you can get yourself to take the risk. I think I think you just gotta get yourself to do it. It's
Yeah,
so much
somebody
to be done.
on Twitter, Mason Lloyd, shout out to him. Maybe I'll throw his shit in the bio, but he just posted about a chick he was talking about. It's like he makes internet money, he's sales, and he went somewhere vacation, met a girl, and he was just asking on Twitter, like, is he acting up too much about this? Like, is the girl mean too much to him already, too quick? And I was like, dude, you're young. I mean, if you've been in a relationship before, you know what to look out for. If you can manage it, go for it. Like it's just another risk. If you know what to look for, you know where you're at right now. You know where you could go without her. That's the thing. You know where you could go without her. You know where you could go with her. You have plans for both. Which one's better for you right now? It's like, I mean, Kevin, the way you put it, it's really so simple. Do you want to do this forever? No, then you have to do something else, dude. You have no option. You
I'm
have to do something else.
saying. And I'm
So
not thinking
is
about
it even that risky? Because the risk, it's 100% not right now. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So it's not your
Whoa.
risk. It's 100% not this. So
It
is it
almost seems
risky?
It seems inevitable now because I'm only
Yeah.
looking at the risks. Like, what's gonna happen? Like, I'm gonna be homeless in fucking Midway from Colorado. Like, I'm not looking at the upside. Is I'm out there in Colorado with my family, having kids, making money, and I'm happy. Like,
Yeah.
that's what we're not realizing is, Rob, you get to say you're 40 and you have a phenomenal family. You're making a lot of money and you're comfortable and you're happy. But because you took that risk, it's like we see these risks only when we only see the downsides of them. And we don't see that one, we're going to be way happier if they succeed. And two, there really is no other option if we don't take these risks. Because I'm not going to be here and be miserable for my entire ass life. I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah.
just not.
Someone. I'll just use like Mason's example. I've seen Mason's work. I actually do. He's a great follow on Twitter.
Mhm.
A girl, right? I've gotten like the dating scene has been like it's called like an asymmetrical bet, right? So let's say he uh takes this girl on a date, really likes her, puts all this like money, effort into it, right? The downside is he lost time, money, energy, right? And time is the most valuable foreign currency, so that sucks. The other side of that bet, man, is like he's the happiest guy ever, and they get married, and like she's actually a good person for him, and they make each other happy, and like there's the only thing that you're losing is just a little bit of money and some time and energy, but like you get something from it. I don't think it's like the worst risk that you could take. I mean, like again, he's young enough that you take that risk. Like you do it. Like it's life's too short to have certain regrets, especially something like that. So that's why I would
Yeah.
weigh him.
Yeah. And there's a lot of bets that I've made, especially on sports, where I have no control of the outcome. But I've been like, oh, bro, this is a phenomenal bet, bro. I'm about to make some money. But then
Yeah.
here I am on the one bet that I can make where it's 100% on me. And I'm like, oh, no, I don't want to do that. Like, I'm scared. Like, it makes
You
no
don't want to
sense.
bet on yourself, dude. There's no one better to bet on.
I'm
Yup,
saying it,
100% return on investment, baby.
Yeah,
it, make,
ROI
it
through the
makes
roof.
it's so logical, but then like we're so scared. And I think that's okay. I think it's okay to be scared of shit like this, but
Yeah,
there is no other option. I'm not going to be here being depressed. Neither are you,
Right.
Rob. Neither are you, Trevor.
go baby.
Like, we got to do it. But
We
I
have to
like it.
go. Yeah.
I like it.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Shoot me in the DMs on Twitter to set something up if you want to. If not, you go through our website. You're at the bottom here. We got new merch, all that fun stuff. Like, comment, and subscribe. And we will catch y'all on the next one. We will definitely have to get you back, Rob. This was a good
I
time.
would
Yeah.
be honored. That was a lot of
Yeah.
fun. Thanks.
Thank you for
Yeah.
being so open with us, bro. I know it's not an easy thing to do.
You guys are very welcome. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, thanks, Rob.
But all right, y'all. We'll catch you on the next one.